So you might go out and tell 500 people about this, but when they ask you questions, you want to be able to answer those. Okay. Now, this is my favorite place. Okay. This is the forms and downloads. So we're going to go through a couple of the downloads that are actually on our slides, but talking point examples. I love this. So there's a possible greeting script so that you can actually go through this. Again, it might not be exactly the way you speak, but jump in, Rick.
Yeah, you have to put your own personal flavor on everything, but this gives you the framework of everything you need to do to be successful in this business.
Absolutely. And then, so the faith and favor declarations, I suggest that you do that over your business every single day. And we're going to cover this. This is actually inside our presentation. But going through, you're going to be able to find everything at your fingertips that you want to know under the school app. So very important. Now, binary placement. We're going to go over a little bit of that today, your right, left. But there's a very simple 6-minute training that Danny did here. Now, here is where the rubber meets the road, okay? X39 presentations. There are some times that you get super excited and you invite a friend to a Zoom and they say, I'm so sorry, I can't come. That is perfectly okay. Because see right here, there are tons of different presentations that you can actually go to, copy and paste, and you can turn around and you can share that with your person and say, okay, I want you to watch this and I'm going to call you in about an hour. Trust me, this is going to blow your mind. And I thought of you because I know that your granddaughter suffers with, I thought of you because I know that you suffer with, right? And so make sure that you understand that you are not a prisoner to live Zooms. You are not a prisoner to that. Okay, so the tools are all right here, and that is incredibly important. Your lady Zooms are right there. And what I want you to do is really go in and watch these testimonies. Guys, there are so many different testimonies. So if you say, you know, I'm talking to an athlete today, go in and find an athlete testimony. Y'all, this is huge. If somebody's dealing with their back, Abby has an incredible testimony with her daughter or with autism. My goodness, how many people do we know that suffer from that? Use these tools because sometimes somebody doesn't need a full Zoom. They just need you to drip some testimonies and they need to see that this technology actually gives them hope because that's what this is. This little patch is a hope for people in our lives. So I want you to make sure that you go through this and you go through all these incredible testimonies. I mean, look, massive cut, hair, everything, the quadriplegic. I mean, Jonathan, what an incredible testimony he has. So make sure that you guys know what you're doing in school. Okay. So very, very important back office training and then coaching calls. What I like to do is I like to go through once a week and I like to find a coaching call. So make sure that you do that. Make sure that you go through once a week. And if you want, remember, you get paid as much as you want to make. Okay. So, or as much time you put into it, right? So go in and do a coaching call once a week. And most definitely jump on the coaching calls on Wednesday or watch the replays because they are absolutely priceless. So that is your school app. And we will definitely download it from the Champion Makers. And then you're going to be able to do that. Okay. And then how to get started with your basic training. So let's go back to this and let's go back to your Champion Makers. All of these different team Facebook pages. Okay. Let me show you again something that Rick and I do. Okay. So patching with purpose. Okay. What if somebody calls you and says, I'm having issues with my back, or I'm having issues with neuropathy? You can actually type it up in the search bar and you can actually find testimonies of exactly that. Screenshot it and send it over to your people. Guys, it's all there. This is literally a cut and paste business. So hopefully that helps you guys understand the importance of the champion makers, okay? And then whenever you want to make sure that you add yourself to the This Is It team Facebook. Why? Because we are also a part of the This Is It team. And look, they have different trainings during the day. And they also, you can announce all your people. And so that's incredibly powerful as well. So make sure that you have that at your fingertips, and then subscribe to the This Is It team on YouTube. Again, guys, I just want to show you what this looks like. There are Zoom calls. Now, some people are not preferred, some others are. So Danny and Diane do a great job of showing you, because everybody has different personalities of who's coming up. So this Monday, you got a double header with Carrie. Carrie's doing the presentation on the This Is It team. Load it up with every person that you love, especially if you are in that living room with your family for the next week for Thanksgiving. Load it up, because you are going to give people hope in your family that they never thought possible. And so that will help you. And so now, let's go back to here, and we're going to play from here, and then we are going to still go through some of them. Rick talked about making your list and setting your financial goals. Now, if you just joined, okay, this health tracker is actually inside. It's actually inside your school app. Okay, so I try to send as many people the health tracker as possible when they join. Why? Because what are they doing? They're developing their story. And Rick's going to talk about that in a minute. They're developing their story as to what ended up happening with them. So very simple. You guys, as you package your story, you're going to be talking to so many people, and we're going to talk about that. But when you package your story, you're going to be sitting there going, okay, all I can tell you is that my husband and I jumped on this, and after day 3, he stopped snoring. After day 9, I was told that I needed surgery on my arm. On day 9, my arm had fixed itself. I started getting mental clarity by day 45. And people go, oh, well, what kind of mental clarity? Well, I had COVID. And so I had major brain fog. But on day 45, I was able to start thinking properly. I don't know if he agrees with that, but I was able to start thinking properly. And so start doing this. Use these tools at hand, because this helps you package that story, okay? And then you get paid to talk to people. So this is Rick's forte right here.
Just as with anything, it's a numbers game. How many people are you sharing this with? Our belief is that it should be shared with every single person you come in contact with. Now, does that happen every day? No. With my beautiful bride, probably yes. There's not a place we can go that I don't have to drag her out as she's talking to every single person at every single place we go to. But when you look at the one-on-ones, the 3-way phone calls, the Zooms, I mean, you've got to use the assets that you have available to you, which is the team, and that's champion makers, and that's what takes care of a lot of stuff. But this pro strategy, the daily method of operation, just look at those numbers and just set that goal. When you're setting your goal and you're setting up your day, set that goal and spend some time, but have some fun with it. You know, Britt and I will definitely have fun when we're making our phone calls, and we jump in on a lot of phone calls together, but we do some individually. But we like to challenge each other, and that's what makes this business kind of fun.
So the pro strategy. So if you decide, like I have a dear friend that she said, Britt, I want to tell the world, but I don't have time to tell the whole world. Well, first of all, the phone calls that you make, they shouldn't have to be longer than 5 minutes. Guys, they really shouldn't, because you don't have to sell the technology. What you're doing is you're selling them on hope, and then you're sharing a Zoom, okay, until you feel really comfortable, or you're sharing the hope and you're putting them on a 3-way phone call with the person that sponsored you, or your SPD, or your director. So it should be a very short phone call, right? And so don't feel like you have to spend 10 and a half hours to 20 hours a day on the phone in order to fit this into your time. But she said, I only have time to talk to 2 people a day and revisit with 2 people a day and point them to the opportunity. Oh, great. then that's what you do and stick with it. And so just decide what your strategy is going to be. And we talked earlier about packaging your story. So Rick always talks to me about, shortening my story.
And just to back up a little bit
Yeah.
on that last
Yeah,
point,
absolutely.
that is one of the most important things is, for me, I'm fairly simple,
Yeah.
right? Rick told me to put on the patch and I put it on and I felt great. I couldn't understand or explain all the science behind it, the technology itself, but I didn't need to. What I could share was my testimony with my friend. And then if they had more questions, I could point to everything that was in the system. That's all you have to utilize.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So packaging your story, when you call somebody, what do you say? Okay. What if you're like Carrie and you're like Diane? Diane started using the technology. She called Carrie that night. We called Kristen, we called Kelly, we called Kim that night that we started the technology because we were so incredibly excited about it. Some of them got a miracle before we did. So how do you handle that? You use other people's stories. And that's where those testimonies come in that are very, very powerful on your Facebook group and on the back of the school app. That's what's important. But as you package your story, Rick always tells me, keep it simple. Because I could talk for 5 hours about all that has happened with Rick and I could. But if I turn around and I say, Rick's not snoring, Rick's esophagus is no longer inflamed the way that it was. My arm that I needed surgery on didn't need surgery. Our daughter who's on the spectrum can now function in a different manner. My grandmother who couldn't remember my children's name now remembers if I called her back or not. If I could just package that in a perfect, oh my gosh, this is the most incredible technology. It's mind blowing. And I'm sending you a Zoom. You cannot miss this Zoom. That's it. Love people. Do it. Tailor it to what they want and what they need because people are always in it for what's in it for them. What's in it for them? Because people who are salespeople, what do they want? What's in it? What's in it for me financially? You want to focus on the person. What is in it for them? That's the business that we're in. If you jumped into this to be just rich quick, sure, you could probably do that, but that's not the heart behind all of us. That's not behind the heart behind this team. The heart behind this team is how many people can you love a day? Because when you start hearing the stories, you just can't help but get excited. So compress your path result story in a 30 to 60-second overview, okay? And then talk to them about them. And, oh, absolutely, Rick, cover that, please.
Number one,
Please.
first step is a sponsor. Send your new brand partner to championmakers.com. That is vital. That has to happen every time. We do not want anyone to get lost. Lack of communication can kill that. Just make sure that is the number one point that you get out of this slide.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so arm yourself with training. We already talked about a little bit about this, but we're going to go back here and I'm going to show you the training that you have. Okay, so this is it info. I want you to understand that you have at your fingertips a landing page. Okay, so we didn't care about the studies and the patents. I guess that's bad because we're both that way. We just knew that Danny and Diane said it worked and we were like, let's go. But some people do care. And so you need to know that you have those patents and those studies at your fingertips. So send those over to them. Don't get frustrated with people if they aren't like you. Because thank God everybody's not like Rick and I. Thank God that they're not. But make sure that you understand what you have on your fingertips. Get to know your tools. This is an incredible video that's just very, very quick to explain. And then phototherapy. This will help you explain phototherapy well. So watch it several times because they're not long, but know what you have on your fingertips.
And most importantly is share it. Is you don't have to put the pressure on yourself to become the expert. The information is there to be shared. So share it with whoever you're talking to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So understand the tools. And then the This Is It team. Okay. So, let me go. Oh, here it is. The This Is It team. Okay. So when somebody comes to me we always send them to championmakers.com. But if somebody comes to me and asks me an interesting question about like pay portal, e-wallet, okay? Guess what? thisisitteam.com has that on your fingertips. Just go to This Is It Team and you can actually click it and we'll actually send you a video of how somebody can set up their wallet. Okay. And if they can't find it, another little clue is that it's probably in their spam. So look in their spam, and they do not get an e-wallet notification until 2 weeks after, well, 7 to 10 days sometimes after they make their first sale. So just understand that once they make their first sale, they're going to be able to have that at their fingertips and to look for it. So know this stuff, guys, because it really is helpful to have all of this in your pocket so that you know you have, okay? So ensure that you play through this. Ordering outside the USA. Look at this, guys, how to track your order. There are so many awesome things right here between Champion Makers, school, and the This Is It team. You are set up with a franchise that can go as far as you want it to go, as quickly as you want it to go. Okay, now this is the last piece that I'm going to show you when it comes to the tools, is your testimonies. Okay, so yes, you got the Facebook groups right here, right? Where I'm going to exit out of those so it cleans it up a little bit. But see these testimonies, guys, if somebody asks you about neuropathy, you can go into Facebook and you can do that, or you can go to This Is It Team and tap it. Well, is it safe on kids? Send this. When you tap it, it's going to give you all kinds of videos on why it's safe for children. Guys, this is all on your fingertips. Make this your very best friend, okay? Make this your very, very best friend. So study the page, know your printables, know the testimonies page, know the thisisitinfo.com. So we already talked about what is the system. So I want you guys we're not hounding this, but whenever somebody says, well, what does it mean to plug into the system? It's that DMO. It's daily method of operation. I'm going to talk to this many people today. I'm going to follow up and I'm going to invite blank amount of people per week to a Zoom. That's the system. So when you hear somebody say, let's plug them into the system, talk to your brand partner, talk to your person about how many people they might want to talk about it a day. And then use this or something like this. I mean, Rick, he's owned dealerships and ran dealerships for 21 years. So
This is super important because people can get lost in the shuffle, right? Life happens
all the time.
You know, there's a million things going on in everyone's world. But the one thing you don't want to do is talk to somebody and then you forget to circle back with them. Make sure you're revisiting. Make sure you're sitting there and you're talking about everything, but you want to stay on top of your business. Because at the end of the day, this is a franchise and you've got to treat it like it's your own franchise because it really is. So this will help keep you organized, keep you on track, and keep in touch with all the people you need to speak to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to encourage all of you. Okay. I really want to stop here and I want to encourage all of you. I had Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid condition, and my thyroid fixed itself. Okay. So there's somebody in my family that I was just so incredibly excited to call. Okay. And you know what? She hasn't answered the phone for 2 months. And I was just so upset. Guys, just trickle and love. Love people where they're at. Okay. I mean, the fact that she has it and I had it, you would think that it would be a no-brainer, but sometimes people are a mystery and you can't get angry. You can't get upset. You just love people where they're at. There were people that we loved in the very beginning of this 9 months ago, because we've only been doing this for 9 months. And you know what? They said, absolutely not. We don't want to have a thing to do with it. And guess what? They watched as we were continuing to drip and loving people and telling people, hey, I just want to let you know, I saw this and I thought of you. You know how many people from 9 months ago are now in our business? The majority of our growing business are people that said no.
Yeah.
So
And
just know that.
That is one of the most important things. And for myself as well, this business being new to us, when people had that kind of reaction, it upsets you, right? It brings out an emotion. It's like, well, hey, hang on, why are you saying no? But you know what? It's just people need to see and get more information and see what's happening in your life and in your world. and how you're feeling. And all it is sometimes just time. So don't take it personally. That's one of the biggest thing. And I can be guilty of that maybe from time to time, not too often, but however, you just can't take it personally. You just got to get them more information, because I'll tell you, I was one of the first ones when we first started talking about, this type of a business. I said, I didn't know anything about it. So I said I wasn't interested and I had no interest in it, but I didn't really know what it was. So how could I come to that conclusion? It was just a defense mechanism that I had. All it needed to do is I had more information and it made sense. But that wall had to be broken down first.
Absolutely. And so understand also that you have a schedule, right? And so every single week, that schedule is going to be posted on school. And on Sunday nights, I want you guys to see my note right here. On Sunday nights, the team Zoom is so incredibly important. If you say, I can't do anything else, I can't jump on any coaching call, the team Zoom, guys, there's so much good that happens there. Okay, so stay on that team Zoom and understand that when you plug yourself into that, you're going to hear miracles, you're going to hear things, you're going to see things that are going to be really, really good. So make sure that you do that. And then Saturdays, we are now purposing, it's not going to be just me and Rick, trust me, but it'll be other people that are doing the basic trainings. And so that's really, really great. And then Wednesdays, those coaching calls, but take a look at all the opportunities. So that X39 presentation, okay, take a look. When it says X39 presentation, because we get a lot of text messages saying, is this something that's just for brand partners, or is this something to invite? If it says it's a presentation, then that is going to be for you to invite people that you love. Okay, now, let me tell you what that phone call is going to, can we role play that phone call real fast?
Sure.
Okay.
I need my phone.
Yeah, get your phone. Get your phone. Okay, I'm calling you. Pick it up.
Hello.
Hey, I was just talking about what was going on. Hey, it's Britt, by the way. I'm just super excited. I just talked to somebody and they had told me about what had happened to their baby. I know that you have an autistic son.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rick, you have to listen to this. I'm going to send you a Zoom. Are you available tonight?
Yeah, I'm available.
Okay. I'm going to send you a Zoom. We fell into this technology that is a stem cell technology. It is going to blow your mind.
Wow, you got my attention.
Okay, I'm going to send you this Zoom. I just know that God put you on my heart, because let me tell you, you pray about your list, it's going to work. I know that God put you on my heart. You have to watch this. And when you watch this, I'm going to call you right after or tomorrow morning. You have to watch it.
I'll definitely be on it.
Okay. I'm going to send it to you now. I'm so excited. This is going to change your life. I just love you guys so much. And I just know that this is going to impact you guys forever. Okay. So I'm going to send it to you right now.
All right. Well, thank you, Brittany. I love you.
Love you too. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay. So many times it's that type of call because you just have that relationship. Address the elephant in the room. If you know that somebody's dealing with something and you just cannot get them off your mind, and you see that they're dealing with, arthritis or something, and you address the elephant in the room. Hey, Sam, I know I haven't talked to you in 15 years. I know that, but I have to tell you about this. This is too good to miss. Too good to miss. So address the elephant in the room and invite, love, and use those testimonies. Okay, so we're going to now go into a little bit more of the business as to just how you join and how you use the back office for about 10 minutes. And so this is going to really help you guys. Okay, so let's see. Did I already have it up? Okay. So here is, when we go to our site, you're going to see right here, welcome to my shop. Okay. When somebody says that they want to join with you and they say, can you send the website? I never send this ever. Okay. Hear my heart. There's a reason why. They don't know what they're doing. Okay. You're always going to click join. And I send them this. Okay, so if I'm a new person and I jump on, what am I going to do? Am I just going to send it to them and just hope for the best? No way. you're going to help walk them through this, okay? So let's say that they start as a core, okay? And get back to the person that invited you on this, because they may or may not, you can change patches, you can do a bunch of things, but we're gonna just stick to the X39. What were you
You're
gonna
gonna
say?
keep them on the phone with you while you do this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, keep them on the phone with you, because something might happen and they might get frustrated. You don't want to be that person that just looks like you want their money. You want to help them, okay? So when they go through, you're going to help, if they're dealing with other things, then you talk to your sponsor that invited you onto this, because they'll help you walk through the other patches. But let's just stick with the X39 for now, okay? Then they're going to click continue, okay? Now, watch this. Do you see this? If you click save, it looks like you're adding your monthly subscription, doesn't it? You're not. Okay? So you want your people to be on a monthly subscription. Okay? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Why? But it's vital for them. It's loving them to make sure that they are on a subscription. So what they do is they're going to go here, and they're going to add whatever they want as their monthly subscription. So if it's a couple, two, if it's somebody that wants to run the business and run with it quickly, make sure that they do two, because they'll probably be managers very quickly. And you own your franchise, by the way, for a maximum of 200 a month. That's your max, that you own this franchise. Wear the patches. That is a requirement. That's it. That's it. So make sure that when you do that, then you come down and you click save. That is so incredibly important, because I thought I was putting everybody on the subscription, because I was like, yep, saved. I didn't check and say what I wanted them to subscribe to. Okay, so that's incredibly important. Did you have anything to
Yeah,
add to
one of the
that?
other important things, and this is mostly for the iPhone people, that FaceTime tool that you have, put that there so you can make sure that it's going across the screen and everything's being done correctly. If you've got an Android like I do, then just don't bother with it.
If you have an Android, get an Apple. I'm an Apple, he's an Android, so it's a house divided. So go through all of these different things, okay? And remember what your people need to know, or what you need to know for your people to put things in. So know that you need their date of birth, okay? Know that, okay? Because they might turn around and say, can I just give you my card? I'm too busy. Know what they need to have. Yes, sure. Know what they need to have, okay? So, and then email. And if you guys are asking questions, we are going to go back to the comments, and we're going to make sure that we answer any questions. But know that their password may be a password that they want to have. If not, another key that, just so y'all know, is that we pick a password for them that we know that we can remember. So if they have questions, I can log in their back office and I can help them answer it with their permission. So that is super helpful as well. If they're like, hey, I don't know whether to build my left or my right, if you know their password, you can actually help them. Okay. And then when you go through and you do the address, this is very, very important. When you go through, and if something pops up that says it didn't go through, a lot of times it's not their card, it's their address is incorrect, or their original address and suggested address, it's not working together. So try to always do the original address, not the suggested address. Hopefully that helps on that. And then always, and I go back to this, always, let me see. Oh, that's not part of the slide. Sorry. Always go, keep this on hand. Keep this on hand. Because when this week, we know that we're going to see our family. And I know that some of our family is going to sign up. I'm going to have it on hand so I can just fill it out and I can just put it in the system later. Keep it on hand. Do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, it's a great tool right there. Just the pad of paper. It's my favorite. It's my go-to. No one's ever accused me of being Tommy Technology. So I like to write everything
He's
down.
not Tommy Tech.
So this is a great tool to have.
So make sure that you do that, okay? So remember this join link. I want you guys to all pay attention to that. Keep that on your mind. Keep that join link in hand, okay? So now we're going to, again, talk about how you go through this business, okay? First of all, your goal is to be a manager, okay? You tell 4 people that you love about this technology, okay? And what it's done, you get them plugged in, okay? So this is your manager screen. Again, this is available on school. So 2 people on your left, 2 people on the right, and you must be either advanced kit or above to become manager or have purchased total of 300 PV. Okay, so that's, or BV, that's business volume. Okay, so that means that you need to have purchased for yourself enough that that you qualify for the advanced pack. Okay, so let's talk about how you're going to go left, right. So we're going to log in, and I want you guys to see how you're going to go left, right, left, right. Now, do you see this guy right here? You're going to click, so your name, so this is your home office, okay? So you can see who has joined your group. You can see, who are your new people. Stay on top of this. You want to meet people. So when you meet people, or if you know that somebody hasn't been introduced to you, hey, text somebody and say, hey, I really want to see what's happening there, okay? Oh, introduce me to Colleen, introduce me. Now, left, right, left, right. This is so important, okay? So it's loading. When you go all the way down and you click past About Me, build left or build right, okay? This is what is going to be important for you to know. You want to build 2 people on your left and 2 people on your right. So it's always set to strong leg outside, and I'm going to explain that to you. But you want to build left or build right. This will automatically put, if you were loaded on somebody's left side, then your strong leg would be the left. If you're on somebody's right, then your strong leg would be on the right. So come in here and build left and build right. There's no right or wrong. You want to have strong people on your left and strong people on your right. Okay. And so if people say, I'm going to share, then make sure that you balance that out for the first few. Okay. Because you need at least 3 on the left and 3 on the right to be director. And I'm going to show you that, but 2 on your left and 2 on your right to be manager. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. Okay. So that is going to be what's very important as far as the back office is concerned. Okay. So you want to get to manager. Okay, this is your basic strategy. Okay, we just said 2 on your left, 2 on your right. Okay, but the strategy is eventually you get 20 people on your right, 20 people on your left. That does not mean that you have to do all, or you should do all left, all right. No, 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 no. At first, you're going to do left, right, and then you're going to get with the person that sponsored you or your director or your SPD, and you're going to say, okay, let's look at my numbers. And you're going to look at your left volume and your right volume. And if your left volume is 5,000 because, people above you are helping you, and your right volume is only, 1,500, where are you going to grow? Once you have your left, right, you're going to grow your right. Okay. And so ensure that you understand this basic strategy. Is there anything that you want to add to that?
Yeah, I just want to add on one touch point. If this type of thing gives you some sort of anxiety or you get nervous about it, then revert back to just picking up the phone and asking your sponsor or your SPD or someone above you, and don't freak out. It's
100%.
okay. It's not an easy thing to just jump in and just automatically know this stuff. It's going to take some time, but ask the questions. Don't let it frustrate you. Don't let it give you any sort of angst. Just be calm and pick up the phone.
Yeah, because we were looking at this. We've never done anything like this, guys. He's a car dealer. So when we looked at this, we were like, what are we doing? So we would call Danny and we'd say, what are we doing? And he'd help us. He'd show us the numbers and he'd show us. So just understand. So if you're on your sponsor's right team, they're going to help you build your right. If you're on your sponsor's left team, They're going to help you build your left. Okay. So how does that look when you first enroll and pursue the first rank of manager? So here's your sponsor. Okay. And they've put some people in and then you joined. Okay. So on this scenario, you're on your sponsor's left leg. So you joined. Okay. And you weren't quite ready to share, right? So you just kind of joined and you wore the technology and you're like, okay, this is pretty neat. But then you log into your back office and you're like, why do I have numbers? I get that call all the time. Why do I have numbers? Well, it's because the people above you might have added on to the left leg. And guess what? The volume has fallen underneath you of those people that have actually been added. So as you add somebody, and then somebody else adds somebody, and then somebody else adds somebody, your left leg might be much bigger than your right leg. So start paying attention to that, okay? And just understand that that is the power of the binary. That is why this business is different than anything else. That's why we called people that we love right away and said, jump on this with us. If this is what we think it is, you're going to have miracles happen and we are going to change the world together. So understand that. Okay. And so you're going to build your right and you're going to build your left, but you're going to have help building your left or building your right. Okay. So just understand that. This is how it's going to look. You're going to have numbers maybe on both sides. If you're a young team with young sponsor, you may not, but eventually you will start having numbers on both sides. And that's why it's so incredibly powerful. Now, director, here we are. So director, you need to know that you have to have 3 people on your left and 3 people on your right. Okay. So, and then you're going to help somebody get to manager. And what does that look like? When my brand partners join up, we always make the phone call a couple of days after and we say, how are you? How are you feeling? Have you gotten your patches yet? No, but I know that there's several people that already need this technology. My friend Ashley, she just loves people. And she's like, Brittany, this person desperately needs it. This person, she's almost manager and she hasn't even gotten her patches yet. I mean, guys, that's like what? Because she was like, there's too many people that I know that need this. So remember that you can already share when you haven't even gotten your patches yet. If there are people that you know that need it, don't be selfish. I'm really being serious. I'm going to challenge you. Don't be selfish. Okay. So understand that and help them do the subscription. Help them. Okay. And they can order a maintenance pack or upgrade to a premium pack at the end of the month after they've joined after a month. They can do a maintenance pack. And how they do that is they're going to go to their back office and click store. So I want to also, because we got several questions the other day about how do I go back in and how do I go in and change what I'm ordering every month? Or how do I change into getting a subscription? You're going to go into your back office and click store, and you can actually click patches, right? And then you can get them for your price now, since you're a brand partner, or there's other options. When you click that, you can actually do add to monthly subscription. It will come here and you're going to have to check out in your cart. Okay, so make sure that you do that. And then those maintenance kits. Let's talk about the maintenance kits real quickly. We're almost done. We'll take questions. Those maintenance kits, absolutely incredibly vital, okay, to understand this, because you can save a lot of money by doing this because you're a brand partner. Okay, so a lot of times I'll turn around and I know that my family, we've got 4 children, we can turn around and we can get a maintenance kit for them. Okay, so understand that when you go in and you play in that back office, it's going to be super helpful for you. Okay. And then here is your final for the structure portion of it, what you want to do. Okay. You want to have 2 directors. They can be on your right. They can be on your left. You can have several directors on either side, whatever it is. Once you hit senior director, sky's the limit, because then it all comes out to you getting paid also on volume. So the structure is manager, 2 on your left, 2 on your right, and you calling those people and saying, who can we help? Who do you love? Who do you love? And helping them get to manager. And once you have a manager on your left and a manager on your right, you become director and then senior director. And it's a multiplication. So don't let these circles overwhelm you, because remember, these aren't people that you've all put in. These are people that the people that you loved, that you introduced to the technology. These are people that ended up loving other people in their families. And then this is the weekly binary commission maximum payouts of just the binary, not the commissions, the binary. And I love how Danny always shows this on the training Zooms. Guys, this is huge. As you hit your group begins to hit these numbers, you can max out just in the binary, not the commissions that you make with your people, just in the binary up to $25,000 a week. So once you hit senior director, it's all about the volume. Okay. So don't forget that. Make sure that you understand that you can get to where you want to financially by helping people and loving people. And like I said, you want to have this on your page or on your screen and in your car at all times. I really hope that you guys understand the importance of walking people through the process and loving them where they're at, because there are some people that are not tech savvy. Pay very close attention to your back office. Watch those numbers. How do we handle when people say, I have too many X39s, I don't want to do auto ship? Give them Danny and Diane's example. Encourage them that they will get a miracle. And when they do, if they're on auto ship, they don't have to auto ship an X39. Guys, be creative here. Go to the back office and be creative. You don't have to auto ship an X39. You guys could turn around and say, okay, well, what else are you dealing with? You know what? If they've got 10 X39s, guess what, guys? You know what they want? If they're going to start sharing with the world, is they want to have IceWave. I keep IceWave on me at all times, because guess what? People, we live in a microwave society. They want it right away. And if they can see that they feel better right away because you IceWaved them, which by the way, how to IceWave is in the school. There's a whole video that Carrie did that's fantastic. If you IceWave somebody, keep those on hand. So maybe auto ship a couple of IceWave. Be creative with your people, and encourage them that they need to stay on auto ship, because all that business volume, how we were talking about all those people start being added onto their group. That is so incredibly exciting. But that volume only counts if they're active. So how many people do we know that struggle with sleep? Get them a sleep pad. Be creative with them. So just as for me, a lot of times, Danny and Diane, they love to keep it simple and just X39s. If I know somebody is in a lot of pain right now, then when I do the original order, I do an original order with IceWave and with Eon. Then they have to auto ship. And this, guys, write this down, because Dr. A has taught this, and I, as our dentist, I'm like, okay, write this down. It takes 120 days for a cell to turn over. Okay. So because of that, you tell your people 120 days. I'm asking you for 120 days. If somebody tells me, and I'm going to be honest, if somebody tells me I'm going to give this 30 days, you know what I tell them? Save your money, because you might get a miracle, but the heart behind it isn't there. You're not giving me a chance, and you're thinking that I'm just trying to sell you. And so if I tell them, look, all I'm asking for is 120 days, then that really helps out, the person that says, okay, I don't want to do auto ship, because the Eon will help that inflammation go down. The IceWave takes care of the pain. And so we try to stick to as close as we can to just X39. But if we know that somebody's hurting all the time, give them what they need, give them what they need. So, and then I saw somebody ask about, what did I use for Hashimoto's? X39. We didn't know about the other patches, guys. We knew nothing. X39. I X39'd it until the cows came home.
Myself, whenever you're going to contact someone about the business, and let's just say it's a close friend of mine. I communicate with them the same way I've always communicated with them. But what I ask for is 15 minutes to talk about something important, just so they know it's not a friendly conversation that we're just talking about, the football game yesterday. But what I definitely don't do, and I don't think Britt does either, and well, I know she doesn't, we don't randomly just send out videos. You have to give people the framework of what we're going to talk about, ask for their permission to see if they've got the time, and give them some intro. The last thing you want to do when you're doing that, what most people think, if I was just to receive a video of something, I would say, what is this for? Why did you randomly send it? And my guess is you probably sent it to a big group of people.
Yeah.
Very impersonal. It doesn't do the product any justice. You need to send them a text that says, hey, Anthony, just want to see if you got a couple minutes at 11:30. I'm going to give you a call. Are you free for 20 minutes at 11:30? Yeah, man, what's up? I'll let you know at 11:30. Pick up the phone.
It's so important.
And then you give them a little bit of just, hey, came across this great technology. I know you're struggling with high blood pressure. This is what happened for me. This is, you came to my heart. I'm going to send you this information. I want you to watch it and then call me as soon as you're done watching it. Real simple. Didn't have to explain the whole deal, but it wasn't just an unsolicited text message with a video. It's got to be personal. It's got to be from the heart. That person came to your mind for a reason. They're on your heart for a reason. The last thing you want to do is just send them a random text message. That's something that, I would expect from a telemarketer, not from somebody that cares about me.
I know that not everybody prays here, but I pray. And so when God shows me somebody and highlights something to me, I will remind them that I'm not sending it to just anybody. I'm sending it to them.
One of the rules of thumb is if you, in the back of your mind, if you look at your phone and you think you're coming across as a salesperson, you probably are. So you need to take a step back, remember why you love them and what you want to see in their lives, and remove any of that you've got going in that moment of time, because it can happen. Sometimes we just get carried away, right? Our own excitement will get the better of us, but you definitely just want to just drop on them just a little bit here and there and just touch base just like you would. But most of all, I mean, you're going to pray about all these people before you contact them, right? And that's something that Britt does very, very, very well. And it's very funny. The more time, we've been doing this together, is I'll wake up and I'll mention a name and she'll say, had that yesterday, just prayed about that yesterday, just prayed about that person. And so that way we know it's cemented right there that we're supposed to reach out to this person.
Dr. A.
Hey, good morning. Y'all are doing an amazing training here. Wonderful nuggets. When you're signing up somebody, this is what I personally do, and I just recommend my team to do. As an example, when you're signing up on the core, we know that there are 3 X39s in the cart. I am walking these people through the process, and I always remove all but one X39 because I do want them on an auto ship. You have to walk them through. So I say, okay, click here, remove the other 2 X39s. Now we're going to, David Schmidt recommends that everyone stays with the Eon. So we need to add an Eon. We need to add an IceWave. I'm telling them what to do. That way, when you get to the auto ship phase, now you're telling them, okay, we know you have to do X39 for 5 months as an example. So now we're going to put the X39 and an Eon on your auto ship. So they're not saying, I want to push this back. You've already walked them through the process and this is the next step. If you're leading, they're going to follow. If you give them the option, they're always going to skip it. So just tell them what to do and they'll follow it.
So good. So good.
Thank you, Dr. A.
So that is so good. Well, that's so good. Well, I hope that this helped everybody. Guys, you guys, welcome to the team. I mean, truly, we are so excited about being a part of Danny and Diane's team. And we get so excited that every Sunday night we get to be together as a family and we get to hear what God is doing through this technology. So make sure that all of your people that are on this call or that are on your team, get on the Sunday night call. Okay, just make sure of that. And then after that, make sure that you always ask your people to introduce them to you, because you carry value and you carry weight in their lives. They said yes to you, which means they know that you love them. So we love you guys so much.
Definitely love you guys. I just want to say, after all this information, it will be saved in there, but slow down, get to know the information. Don't feel like everything has to happen all at once. If you get stuck, pick up the phone. Like I said, don't let it get away from you, but there's so many different assets. And if you want to be successful, use every single one of them.
Highest ranked elite presidential director, Scott Renita Brennan.
Let's go.
Right.
You got to travel to these international countries to recruit international leaders is what we decided. So we decide that we're going to vacation to where we want to sponsor people and build a legacy business.
Yeah.
This has been imperative. This has been such a key to our momentum and our success, being able to listen to, different families, different couples, different personalities, different perspectives of people growing.
We're going to have some rapid fire information for everybody. I'm going to quiz Renita on some hot topics that everyone's going to want to know. Some of them might even be elementary, but then again, we have new people that are just joining, on the This Is It team, around 3,500 to 5,000 people a week. So we got to help all those new people. We can't assume. We don't want anyone left behind. That's why we're on here today. We don't want no one. I mean, they could be sitting on the beach in Tulum, but they put their clothes on and they decided to sit here in front of all of you to take time from their vacation to be in front of you. But what's interesting is that we all got our head in the game and we want you to win and succeed. And I'm glad what you said about that, Scott, because I just got so excited about those videos that I said, I got to play these. And that's why we were running a little late, because I wanted to just people see it. And we'll play it at the end as well. But all of us on This Is It team are stepping up our game from the very first time that we heard about this opportunity, because we know now what we got our hands on.
Right.
So again, our goal for today is to set everybody up for extraordinary success. That's what today's goal is. So if you came hungry, if you got your notepad ready, I got mine ready. That's why I want so badly for your team to be on here, because if everyone, I'm talking about all the people that are on here right now logged on, when your team are on, they're going to be so blessed by what they hear today. Just like what Scott said. I mean, every single week we have different kinds of people from different backgrounds.
Because God had given me the patches through a person in Canada, right? A nurse for all the nurses in the house up in Canada. And she said, Renita, I saw this miracle with my neighbor lady with Parkinson's. She wasn't making a medical claim. She said she just saw this miracle with the neighbor lady. She knew my mom had Parkinson's, so she sent me a baggie of patches. I didn't know what the patches would do. I didn't know what was in them. And what happened was, Steve, so while God was working on you over there, God was working on Scott and I over here. And so I'm putting the patches on Mom. On the 11th day, she's walking across the house without the walker. She's offering to make breakfast. The woman hadn't cooked in 2.5 years. We had taken away butter knives. And she's bebopping like she's going to go chop an onion, right? With a paring knife.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this thinking, holy Moses, I think there's something to this patch. And so I hadn't even talked to you yet. God was just the setup. He was setting us up. He was setting us up for the phone call with Steve Merritt. And all of a sudden, I said to my dad, who had the oozing, goozing legs, which so many people have saw that picture and used that picture, and you should, because this is the business not where we circulate fear, we circulate miracles over here. This is the miracle circulation business. And so I actually said to my dad, hey, can we try this patch on you? He said, I thought it was for your mother, for neurodegeneration. I said, you know what, Dad, I don't know what it's for, but if it helped Mom. She's like walking across the kitchen, gallivanting with the black and white polka dot pajamas, gonna go make me some eggs. I said, maybe it'll help your legs. We've been doctoring these dang legs for 6 months. He goes, you know what? Let's give it a try. I just threw a patch on my dad's shoulder, okay? Mm-hmm. Listen, I threw the patch on my dad's shoulder at 9 a.m. I had not seen the miracle of my father's legs yet. This is how God works. This is how you know it's divine timing. At 3 p.m., the same day I put the patch on my dad, What are the chances that my phone says Steve Merritt's calling? The same day that I put the patch on my dad. It's the same day, Steve. It's not like a month later or something. It's like the morning I hadn't even seen the miracle of my dad's legs yet, which that picture, by the way, on social media, if a picture is worth 1,000 words, that one's worth 1.2 million. But anyway, the bottom line is, so when you called at 3 p.m. that day, I'll never forget it. And you said, hey, I got something. And I kind of said what everybody says, I'm too busy. We homeschool the kids. We're taking care of our aging parents. We have multiple businesses. I mean, if any of you have caretaked elderly parents, it's like a full-time job times 10. I mean, it's crazy, right? So when people say they don't have time and they're just trying to catch up on the Yellowstone series, I'm thinking you got way too much time on your hand. That's part of the problem. But anyway, we didn't have any. And so when you said that, I said, Steve, I think I've heard of these patches. That's exactly what I said, because I didn't know if I was putting them on mom and dad, but I thought I did. You know, I was like, this could be the same. It would be just really random coincidence if I'm putting a different patch on mom and dad. And then you said, it doesn't matter. I'm calling you because we're going to take this business to the top and we want you and Scott to do it with us. And I'm going to tell you, that's a key right there. That's a key element with business. You've got to tell people where you're going as a leader. If Steve would have been like, yeah, I don't know where we're going to take this thing. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we won't. I'm going to give it a try for a couple months. I would say, I don't want to do anything with you, Steve. But Steve said, we're taking it to the top. We believe it's going to be the next biggest thing on the planet. It's going to change your life, Renita, physically. And because he had such vision casting, you can only attach to someone who's got a vision greater than you. And I'll tell you what, I'm a big visionary. Scott's a big visionary. But Steve and Gina Merritt, we can attach to their vision because they're even bigger than us. The next morning, we come back to the house, to my mom and dad's house. Ding dong. I ring the doorbell, open the door, look down at my dad, Marine. He's a Marine, Semper Fi to all the Marines in the house. I mean, this guy bleeds red, white, and blue, right? So he's like, opens the front door. I look down, those big fat legs that had been dripping for 6 months were 1/3 the size, and all of the oozing and goozing was gone. It was all scabbed over. And it was like the tiny little chicken Marine legs were back. And I literally fell to my knees and started praising Jesus. And my dad, 80 years young, says, looks like that sticker worked. Where can I get some more of those stickers? Where can I get some more of those stickers? And Scott and I were just like, holy cow, this is it. This is it. Because no, we knew it.
Yeah.
Because and then I said, and at this point, you know, some of you are trying to get every analytical study. At this point, I said to Scott, what's in that patch? How did it do that to mom? And now dad, mom, 11 days, 11-day miracle, dad, one patch wonder. Yeah. How did it do that to two radically different ailments? How did that happen, Scott? What's in this patch? So only then, Steve, I was already signed up with you. Only then did we actually go to work saying, how is this thing working?
And I was just thinking, Steve, really quick, you know, when you talk about, you know, when someone presents this to you for the first time, you know, what's your mindset, right? Yeah. And so maybe some of you on this call or the people that you talk to kind of have that really strong, we call it a Holy Spirit intuition. I mean, Renita is very kind of inspired, very intuitive. She understands things are about to happen and they happen, right? Or maybe some of you are really searching and looking for that opportunity, but you're looking for proof first. You know, you want to see somebody succeed. You want to see the company have some consistency. And what I love about this is all of that's happening. So, you know, if you, you know, are inspired by your body being able to do what God intended to do with something simple, and you have that intuition that you're looking for something big and you know what's right around the corner, this is it. You found it, right? If you wanted some clues and you want to say, well, you know, you told me about this before. By the way, great opportunity to go back to some of those people, right? Patch revisit and opportunity, right? So you're going back to, hey, you know, I mentioned this to you 6 months ago, 3 months ago, last month, last week. Guys, if you're looking for clues here of success, company received the Bravo Award, #1 company in all of North America, over 6,000 direct sales. This is it, team, fastest growing, you know, organization in all of Lifeway, the fastest growing company, the fastest growing team. And then look at the rake advancements. Look at the number of people winning the regional trip incentives. So if you want the proof, just pay attention a little bit. Jump on these calls. You see all walks of life, all education backgrounds, all business acumen. Everybody's winning, right? And so there's a place for you in this opportunity, and you just have to jump in. and have faith and courage and then go to work, right? So that's the mindset.
Maybe you just heard the zinger today when somebody throws back at you and says, you know what, I've heard of that or I've seen that. Wait a minute, you didn't hear what I saw. Like, that's a zinger. You got to challenge them one time at least. And by the way, when me and Renita and Scott and all of us started, almost all of our contacting was through the phone. So when we were proing people, patching, revisit, pointing to the opportunity, we only wait on the phone call. So don't take lightly the people that you have on your phone, and just start dialing them and making it happen. I love what Scott said. Revisit those people you call, because you can easily apologize and say, hey, I think I messed up. I didn't tell you the right way. Because like Renita's thinking about the product, but what did I say? I'm on to something big. You know what I mean? Like, that's different than, hey, I got a patch. You know what I mean? Because look at, even her dad is thinking it's a sticker. You know what I mean? How big can that be? When you say something's big, okay.
I mean, there's so many reasons, so many differences, right? So number one, just compared to other network marketing companies, you have the product X39, nothing like it, right? So when you're sharing this, no one's going to say, oh, I've tried something like that already. It did work. You've got David Schmidt, right? So when we got to know David Schmidt and we said, what's your succession plan? You're going to $1 billion. He said, Renita, Scott, this isn't what I do. This is who I am. You're out there sharing the path so that I can pray to God to be inspired to go into the lab and invent these products to help the world, right? So we have David Schmidt, who, by the way, I'm in financial planning for 25 years. CEOs are generally not humble. They're generally not accessible. They generally are focused on profit only. They're not focused on the culture, the relationship, the fact that a LifeWave, the culture is, we talk about this with our boys all the time. What's different between this and other network marketing companies? A lot of network marketing companies say, if you hit the top rank, you win a trip. What does LifeWave do? We just got back from Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Managers, directors, Steve, right? We're in Punta Cana. They just started 60 days ago, 90 days ago. The culture of LifeWave is almost kind of the opposite of the American dream, where you go sacrifice everything to be successful, but then you give up your relationship with your spouse or your kids or the things that are important to you. The culture at LifeWave is, we want you to be successful, and then we want you to celebrate on our dime, on an island, at a beach, in a resort, and celebrate your success with your team and your family, right?
Yeah, and I want to say one thing too, and we're sorry, I have a directional computer, so we kind of have to turn it. But like I was going to say this, in network marketing, we have David Schmidt. I'm just going to say it again. We have David Schmidt. This guy is a humble genius, and he said to Scott and I, every one of my brand partners, I think of it like a marriage. He's like, I'm in this marriage with these people that I want to honor and serve. I mean,
so honorable.
He's so honorable.
Hey guys, something with your mic. I don't know why it goes in and out just a little bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Now it's perfect. It's perfect.
Okay, you just got to lean in. So we're going to be leaning in the whole day. But anyway, the bottom line is that, look at our company. We've got David Schmidt. A lot of these companies are selling out to investment groups. And investment groups, the problem with these investment groups is now you've got an investment group that's looking at bottom dollar, that's going to, reduce the quality of the product just to increase the bottom dollar. They don't care about people. They're in the dollar business, right? They're not in the people business, these boards. So what's happened recently, we've seen this, Steve. In the last 6 months, we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 of these network marketing companies completely dissolved because they were ran by investment groups or boards of people that were making decisions, right? In fact, I just heard one company, can't remember, was it, I don't know which one, Tupperware, Tastefully Simple, was sold to George Soros. Oh my gosh, or I'd be running out of that company if I was part of that, right? So all of these network marketing companies are not like David Schmidt. They're not a unique product that has over 180 patents and 95 clinical studies, and the guy's still like a little elf in the workshop making more, right? So that we can get younger and healthier and stop disease. I mean, that's all he cares about.
David Schmidt, which I believe because this is his life calling, it's actually not even fair how good this product is.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really a blessing. It's amazing.
Really quick too, Steve, to like the network marketers. So LifeWave is attracting the best network marketers on the entire planet. They're coming to LifeWave right now, right? So if you know people who are really love this industry, but they're looking for a home, if I just say one quick thing about the comp plan, because people who love network marketing and understand comp plans, they're going to say, Scott, is it a binary or is it a unilevel, right? And I always tell them, it's the best of both worlds, right?
Good.
So LifeWave has the front end compensation of the product introduction bonus. It's just a binary. You're only building 2 legs, right? The senior presidential director, you can earn $1.3 million a year. I'm not making income claims. Got to go to work. But at the very first rank, Steve, a manager, just the team commissions alone, you can earn $1,500 a week, $78,000 per year, $1,500 per week. When people hit a rank in LifeWave, they hit it every week. I'm not making income claims, but no one's hitting a rank and then falling back and never hitting it again, right? And then the unit level is the check match.
Yeah.
So you're getting rewarded not just to help people you like because you said, hey, you're going to make money, you're going to join me. So you want to help them because you love them, but you also have this incredible financial incentive of this check match. So the comp plan is out of this world, right? It's absolutely amazing.
So do you think it's the opportunity for the newest person in watching today is as good or better than it was when you started?
It couldn't be better.
Yeah.
The timing is absolutely perfect to get started right now today, right? There's so many things going on. We were just talking to our boys, Bo and Truett Rocco. So Truett just turned 18 on November 21st, right? So Truett is just getting started. He got started last week. We say, Truett, the resources and tools that you have, like This Is It info. The guy says, what are you here for? What do you do? I said, we activate people's stem cells through their own body's light. He says, what? I said, but even more than that, we're building teams and creating wealth all around the world. I said, what do you do for a living? He said, I've got real estate all over the world. I said, where do you own real estate? I said, you're a money maker. You will love this. Give me your phone number. I'm going to send you a link. And what do I send him? This Is It info, right? And then I follow up and we get him in the business today, right? So it's so easy. The time is now. The time has never been better. And we use the resources, right?
I love that when you say This Is It info too, it's an entire team effort because a lot of the doctors that Renita and Scott brought in are on This Is It info. So we're all, and by the way, every doctor that's on that website is on This Is It team, and they all came in when the last 28 months. Wasn't like anybody was longer than that or anyone's paid by LifeWave. They're all volunteer on there. So it's a team effort of all of us, but I love the fact that you kept it. Okay, guys, he basically said less than 1 minute and is handing out This Is It info. I mean,
20 seconds.
20 seconds, Steve.
20 seconds. I mean, that is one thing I love to do in life is I like to save my energy and not waste time. If the guy would have crossed his arms and said, hey, so what? I'm not interested. We ain't giving him the website. We ain't giving him nothing. We're done in 20 seconds. So
Easy.
that could be another zinger for today. How long are you talking? It's all about exposure, how much of exposure on a consistent basis you can give. It's not how long you can talk. That's got to be.
It's like Mikey Hernandez says, you're not looking to change people. You're looking for people ready to change. You're looking for people ready for the opportunity. Still talking to their sister-in-law that's giving you a list of 17 ailments. And my answer is the same all the time. I'm a health coach, Steve. I know this stuff like the back of my hand, but you know what I say? Put a patch on. It sounds like they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
They've tried the other way. They're taking handfuls of drugs and they're sicker than dogs. Let's try a patch. Let's try something different. Flip the switch, right? And if they're not ready, I walk away because I always think, you know what? This is not my loss. This is their loss. Like I actually have that attitude, not in a mean way, just like, hey, listen, I don't need you to do my business. I'd like you to do my business. I'd like you to wear the patch, but trust me, you need this patch.
This is such a good product. The technology in this patch is so good that it causes you to go down that scientific route too much. Like you get too involved in how good it is and you forget the business. So you got to bring it back. So if I was going to save anybody's time now, I would say keep it as simple what Scott did. He talked about stem cells and then business in the same breath. And we always stay, by the way, somebody asked him something about her dad's legs. Every testimony that all of us had for the first year, because we just stayed jumped in, was X39. So it's the only thing we talked about. And that's how simple it is. Can you just tell them a little bit about keeping it simple with X39? Maybe you even give them a little perspective, Renita, because some people are like saying, why do you only talk X39? Because when you do what Scott said about the stem cell, you don't have to go down this route of all these diseases. When you get right to business, they don't have these disease questions, which will drain you. It drains me because I don't know what to say. So tell them a little bit about that little perspective.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I mean, even the doctors, listen, they want to make the money. And so very quickly we pivot from the health to the money. And here's the problem with most doctors. some people say don't sponsor doctors. I'll sponsor them, I'll work with them, but they're not trained how to make money in medical school. They don't have a business class, guys. And so what happens is there's a little bit of a learning curve with that. So they actually need more knowledge like this is it team.com. They actually need more knowledge like this is it team.com, because most of my doctors say, you know what, I've seen enough of my patients come in and I know this patch works. Like, so the belief on the patch is actually there. I don't have to do a lot of convincing. And here's the interesting thing. I just did a Zoom meeting with a couple whose dad was wearing the patch, and this elderly gentleman, his numbers were like incredible. Like they had changed so much. So then the elderly dad said, well, my son and daughter are picking me up for my doctor's appointment today. You can talk to them about this patch. Next thing you know, we're on a Zoom meeting with this doctor. So patients are elderly patients, guys, are introducing the patch to their MDs, right? And so this MD is like, I am so excited about this technology. I said, do you do anything else holistic or natural at your practice? He goes, nothing, but I'm going to do this. That's what the doctor said. Because you know why? Because the learning curve is easy. Like you're saying, Steve, it's a patch. Put it on. They don't have to make sure that their patients do it at the right time, at the right hour. I mean, like my mom and dad, I say, they were great because they were probably the worst examples. I don't think they were doing 12 hours on, 12 hours off. In fact, my mom, we're German Russian. So she was probably wearing the patch until it was floating in the tub, right? And then she goes, I probably should put a pressure on it. So she wasn't even doing it right or wrong. That's the beauty of this thing. You can't get it wrong. Nobody can get it wrong. So I think that the doctors, they don't have to worry about the liability. Take too many blood pressure pills, you have this. Take too many, metformin, now your blood sugar's dropping and you're combing up. They don't have to worry about that. No. Put a patch on. Put it anywhere. It doesn't matter how. So they love that there's not that legal liability business. Yeah. Most of them are trying to get out of that. So we simplify by just saying, hey, listen, this is phototherapy. I lead every conversation. Just like Scott, we help people. We help save lives and families and finances. And people are like, what do you do?
I love what you said too about the doctors, because, we're all people. Every one of them, they didn't go to medical school because they didn't have a dream. They got a dream. But just like I explained, usually with your picture at the Tampa event with all those people leaning forward, I explain how there's only so many hours in a day, even if you're a doctor or an attorney. You can only make so many hours, so many patients. And if the cost of living goes up or the insurance changed the rules, you start losing stuff. You start losing your freedom. So there's plenty of doctors that want to have this lifestyle, the adventure to be able to go to Tulum and hang out and be able to build their business on some Zooms and have a blast.
Do you want to learn? Are you open to learning an idea, a really smart money move that could impact your life and change your family's finances completely? It's not hard. Our lives financially 2.5 years ago compared to now is unrecognizable. It's totally different, right? And so we keep it simple. Are you open to making a smart money move? Are you already earning enough money to do everything that you and your family want currently, right? If not, are you open? Are you open? I said we activate our body's stem cells using our own body's heat and light. More than that, we're helping our team create wealth around the world. What do? He tells me, you're a moneymaker. You're going to love this. And then he says, do you think it'll help arthritis? It's very normal for someone to think about what's in it for me first, because it's like the hierarchy of needs, Steve, right there. It's tough to talk about money if they're in pain. And so he says, I got 10 more seconds, right? Because he's engaging me. Is it going to help with arthritis? I said, you know what? It's a great question. Stem cells impact the body in amazing ways. We've seen miracles. I'm going to send you a website. This is it info. Click testimonies and then inflammation. Do a little bit of research. You're going to love this. We're seeing miracles, right? And so we kind of reinforce, like, you're going to love this. This is different than anything you've seen before. This is going to change your life. We're confident. We're positive. We're speaking like we're almost like prophesying you're about to, your body is about to change, right? Your finance, you're going to love this, right? Things like that. With the Uber driver, making smart money moves. He's got a young family, right? What are you doing? How often do you get, I said, how many days a week do you work, right? And 6 days a week, sometimes 7. Do you see your children? No. Do you want to see your children more? He sees us. We're here with business and our whole family's here. That's how we roll, right? So you're kind of just looking to engage people. It's about relationships and quickly try to figure out like what's important to them, Steve, right? And then, I love having a solution. So instead of someone saying, I've got this problem And then instead of it being like a crap magnet where we can complain about our problems too, and then you complain about your problems, they tell you a little something. You say, I got something for you. You
Right.
lean in, you say, I got something for you. This
Yeah.
is big. You won't want to miss this. It's going to change your life.
Yeah. And
Hey,
you know
there he
what
went
I
again.
do?
He said, this is big. Hey, real quick. I love what you just said because you basically, the next question was, can you give us some follow-up tips? And I love what you just said because that's what I say to people. My follow-up is my start of the conversation. They can see it in my eyes or hear it in my voice that I'm going to do it whether they do it or not, and they don't want to be left out. So like you're already speaking that you're getting it. Like, tell me a little bit, would you agree that the follow-up actually begins with the conversation, and then give us anything else that you could help me on helping the people? And do you drag on? If the guy isn't interested, move on.
Yeah, next. We have 8 billion people, guys, here. So the bottom line is how that conversation with the Uber driver ended. The guy goes, do you have WhatsApp? I want to give you my WhatsApp right now because I want the information for this because I can't wait to show my wife. He said, here's my number. He said, will you please send it to me now? Like before we got out of the thing, the guy was hungry for it. You want people that are hungry for it. Now, let me just tell you, some people are not going to be hungry. And then this is my hitch. This is how I get them so that they flip the switch, because you got to get them to flip the switch, because if not, you're dragging her along a dead horse.
Like I had to do with you. Like I had to do with you.
Yeah. And with me, it was easy because we're similar temperaments, Steve. So you could punch me between the nose and I'm like, I got it, Steve. Okay. Some people need a little more gentleness. So what I say is when they're griping and moaning about this and that, and they're telling me their list of ailments, I say with a smile, kind of like I know something that they don't know. I say, are you ready to change that story? How many times have you told that story? That backstory that you told me about your bad back? How many times have you said that story? Well, I've had it for 37 years. Are you ready to change that story? Because I'm going to tell you what, when you put this patch on, your whole life's going to change. And one of the things that's going to change is you're not going to be telling that story anymore. So are you ready to stop telling that story? Have you told it enough?
What is
Because
there?
today's a brand new day. So I get them ready to take them to the next level of thinking, Steve. We can't have them in that old way of thinking with their health or finances and think that it's going to be grandiose.
Goes with everything. It goes
It's
with
everything.
It goes with your health. I love that. Guys, write that down. Are you ready to change that story?
Yeah. And then you say it with anticipation.
Throw it back at them.
We're like, you got something big. And then you know what? Sometimes it's shocking to them because they don't realize that they've been repeating it for 32 years, 17 times a day. So then what happens is when you say it to them, how many times have you said that? That's the real kicker, Steve, because then they look at me and they're like, they get it. Like the ones that are ready to change, the light bulb goes on and you're like, you know what? I've told it too many times for too long. You're right. I am ready to change. I want this pain to be gone. I want my family's finances to be different. I want to bring my wife home from work. When you ask that single question, a paradigm shifts in them. And if it doesn't shift in them, run.
Yeah, it's probably the best follow-up I've ever heard right there. Are you ready to change that story? What do you like better? Do you use the order form and the link, or do you use both? What do you do?
We definitely use both, Steve. You know, I mean, we have our order forms with us at all times, right? There's plenty of times where we can just put an order form and I'll just start filling it out. Renita will get the pen. I've got your name. You know, we're gonna get you started with the court. Well, you said it's you and your wife and your kids, so we're gonna start with the advanced pack. You know, here's what we're gonna do.
So it's already set up because when you tell them what pack to get in, because they are guiding them. I wanted to just make sure that they heard what they said. They said, we suggest, hey, we suggest get the premium, but if you can't, at least get the advance. But you see how people just want to be led.
The wholesale packages. So you're going to get these patches at the best possible deal to start all those things that you were talking about in your body that you need them for. So the wholesale, I actually call them a wholesale partner. That's what I call it.
And because what we found is if we send them to our replicated website, it is a bit confusing, right? They might click shop. They'll see a bunch of patches. They're not exactly sure what to do next. And you're going to tell them, we talked about the core. It's $295. There's no membership fee. You get 3 sleeves of X39.
Somebody you haven't spoke with us, say 5 to 10 years. Is it much different than the guy at the buffet line? I mean, get to the point. Tell them a little bit real quick. Get them past. I would think it's more fear that's not making you call than what you say, but go at it. What do you say?
100%. I always tell my friends, they say, well, I got to create the relationship again. I said, listen, let's say I give any example. Let's say you just had a baby. Are you going to wait until your 4th conversation with your old high school classmate from 23 years ago to tell them that you just had a baby? Or when you get on the phone, you're going to say, you know what? I just had a baby, right? Like I just got married. or like anything very, very exciting and hopeful in your life, it's like you want to share the good news, right? Hopefully. But so when people say, I don't want to tell them about it on the first call or the second or the 14th, I call them up and I'm more like you, Steve. I'm like, listen, I know we haven't talked in a while and we can catch up later, but I have got to share something with you that has completely changed my life. And I thought of you because you had that, you didn't really like your career choice. And I've always thought you've been kind of burdened financially. And you always mention that. So I've got something that I think might really bless you and your family because it's been a complete game changer for Scott and I. I mean, I come at it straight on because if not, you know what you seem like? When people say, well, I don't want to make them feel like I'm a network marketer and I'm trying to get it. Well, you are trying to get them. You're trying to save their life and change their life.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that, right? I'm not going to say that on the 14th conversation. You're
I
not
think
going to.
what you just said too is I really like doing it up front because I feel like they were used if you slide it in 20 minutes later or 2 to 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Yeah.
Come right up there, say, hey, we'll catch up later. I'm glad that we caught up a little bit. Everybody's healthy, but here's the reason why I called you. Get to the point. Now you're at the buffet line. Yeah. I'm onto something big. I come across this technology that can reactivate your own stem cells, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I love the fact that the fitness, the person who's more into the, can pretty much attract any medical person. This is Renita. She's getting right to business, saying this is going to change yourself financially. So don't hesitate that.
And let me just say one more thing, because I have these influencers sometimes, Steve, that come in that are starting to come in, and then they say things like, well, we don't want to mention network marketing on our podcast. I said, that's what gives network marketing a bad name. I said, what you're talking about, then you have to slither in later. I said, you know what? Make direct sales a powerhouse. It is the freedom business. Lead with the freedom business. It's the freedom to get free financially. Anybody can make this money. Anybody can wear the patch. Are you ready to have more fun with your family? Right? Make it all about that instead of saying, we're not going to talk about the money. No, that's what makes network marketing seem kind of like slitherly, right? If I just come right out and say, hey, this is a life-altering financial opportunity for so many families that are looking for freedom. Now we got the cat out of the bag. Now you don't have to be like, sneaking it in somewhere, 17 conversations down. I don't like that. I feel like that's what makes it icky.
I've never seen people more open to money, making money, second stream of income. Before, they always said their boss, their company, their 401k. Am I right, Scott?
Yeah. So what it's called, it's called the gig economy, right? People are looking for multiple streams of income. Because of information on technology, we're learning that we should become tax efficient. 3.5 decades ago, Steve, I mean, it would be difficult for you or for me. What do we do? Go to the library to learn about how to become more efficient on our taxes or something. Now it's like, we're getting ads to say, are you making smart money moves? Do you have a home-based business? If you have a lot of income, are you writing off your cell phone, your travel, your mileage, a portion of your food, your utility bill, your, internet bill, right? So the gig economy.
Are you writing off your trip to Tulum?
Yeah. So the gig economy is people are out there looking for these side hustles, and they're looking for opportunities to be, financially free. Also, debt became, really massively marketed to us, right? In the last couple decades, right? So, when your kids go to college, they haven't really been taught a lot of financial literacy. And the first thing they see at age 18 is a table in front of the dorm room with a free t-shirt if they sign up for a credit card, right? So by the time they're done with college, they have student loans, credit card loans. They get their first job, and what do they want to do? Buy a car with the bank's money, right? So we're our demographics of these young up and coming, business people and generations, we need to kind of grab the horns, right? And steer them in the right direction, right? And so we need to say, you got that great job, but you're not tax efficient. Here's why you should open a home-based business. Now, there's a lot of opportunities for home-based businesses. Here's why LifeWave makes the most sense. Here's why it's different and special. This is really big. You don't want to miss this. Here's what's happened to us. Here's what's happening to our team. Can you see yourself, doing this, right? And then you just move in that direction. So
hey, Scott, also what you're saying too is that we're talking younger, but people are getting closer and closer to retirement age. If this can happen with no momentum when you and I signed up and the momentum we have right now, this can happen for those that want to retire or want to make sure they got a good nest egg when they retire. Am I right? That's a whole nother caliber, but they never thought the cost of living was going to be as high as it is now.
Steve, that is so true. So a lot of times we think like, this new generation wants to have unlimited income and travel. They don't want to go to the office. So the that's who you market to. But that generation, like our son Bo's 24, he has more success marketing to his peers' parents, right? Who are just approaching retirement or now in retirement. Maybe they're getting close to retirement. They have good income, but they're looking for a couple smart money moves as they approach retirement. Or, like you said, Steve, it's so powerful, demographically in the United States, our biggest sector is these baby boomers, right? We're kind of sick of hearing that. If you were born between 1946 and 1964 and you're retired, you have to make smart money moves. You've got a little bit of income coming in retirement. Having, number one, a purpose where you have something you can go out in a community of people like-minded, where you can go out and love and serve and help each other before you talk money, right? Number one, just community. And this is so powerful and so valuable with LifeWave and with this as a team. But then financially, if you're retired and you don't have a home-based business, you really don't understand our tax code in the US, right? If you're retired, having a business like this is one of the smartest financial decisions you could ever make, right? So absolutely imperative to financial success. Steve, let me ask you, if you started a business, not network marketing, not direct sales, not LifeWave, you started a traditional business 2.5 years ago, would you in 2.5 years be able to pay the number of employees to make, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 6 figures, 7 figures, Steve, on your team? I mean, how many senior presidential directors do we have in this? I'm losing track. I don't even know.
Is it not?
Right. So, I
crazy.
mean, I'm not making financial claims, but I'm saying, Steve,
Right.
it is so different.
The overhead
Then,
you'd have to have in your business to pay people that kind of money is astronomical.
No, most businesses, Steve, they start the company and they pay minimum wage. And then you got a little bit of skill development or a little education background. Then they're getting kind of this mid-tier. And then you get to this, executive range where they're making a little bit more money and you hope to hang on to them a little bit longer, right? But, in those organizations, they're switching from company to company, looking for better benefits, looking for, a $5,000 a year pay raise, right? Steve, there's no way that Renita and I could have started a business 2.5 years ago and paid employees the amount of money that the people on our team are earning, right?
That's
So
a
this
great perspective.
this
I love
business
it.
is unlike anything, in the economy. It truly is it's the business of the 21st century. But then you have to find the right vehicle. So it's like, you go out there and there's all these different vehicles, right? You got to find the right vehicle, right? So you have to find a company that has a hero product like the X39. Well, it just doesn't exist, right? You have to find a company like LifeWave that has the adventure, who's still the CEO, that has no intention, like Renita said, of selling to an investment group. This is his baby,
Yeah.
And so,
System of Steve and Gina Merritt to come in and say, we're going to create winners over and over and over and over again. And I thought, that's what Steve did for a living, guys. He created winners. He's a world champion water skier. Now his daughter's a 10-time world champ. And now he's going to create everybody else to be world champions. So you're just kind of looking for those that want to do it. Scott's right. The number of thousandaires, and again, no income claims, thousandaires, tens of thousandaires, hundreds of thousandaires, and millionaires that we have on our team now. We could have never done that starting a traditional business 2.5 years ago. And I mean, I look out at the sea of people creating massive wealth. It's generational wealth. This is a vision the Lord has given me lately, Steve, is that we actually are brought to this planet right now for such a time as this with LifeWave, this is a team with Steve and Gina Mayer. We're all partnered together, and we're partnered because we are the chain breakers. So whatever went ahead of you, I said, ahead of me was Alzheimer's, diabetes, Parkinson's, Renita. Imagine a chain hanging here, okay? You got sickness, Renita. Sickness, Scott. Sickness, John and Teresa. Whoever's the chain breaker with the health. You can't just say, the sickness runs in my family. The same is for wealth. And I'm getting very loud about wealth because we took care of my aging mom for a year. It costs money. Deep pockets you have to have for dealing with an elderly loved one. So when people say money doesn't matter, I'm like, that's a foolish thing you just said on repeat. Let me give you my mom for a year and let me know how much money you need. Okay, so at the end of the day, we've got to make the money because teeth cost money, hurricane-proof windows cost money, right? Help costs money. But now I say with Scott, we didn't come from wealth and we didn't come from health. But you can make darn sure that health and wealth are coming from us. So just imagine yourself. This is a visual that all of us should do. We're the generational wealth breakers. So maybe you came from poverty. Maybe you came from hard work where your parents were not that financially literate. That's most people, Steve. But what if you're called for you right now? poverty, hard work, not making any money, poverty, gambling addiction. Scott Renita Brennan.
Yeah.
Right, boom. So just imagine the chain, and you're the chain breaker with the health, and you're
Love
the chain
that.
breaker with the wealth. So it's got to look different from you on down. So if you've not done network marketing, perfect, because you're the chain breaker, because nobody in your lineage above you did it.
Right.
I-
And you know what? We got a perfect team. I love what you brought the team involved there, because it's got to do with, yes, you have to have the right product. The product will light up the comp plan, but if you don't have a community of quality people, now guys, none of us are perfect. We're just doing our best. We're not like somebody asked, do you still use the Vistaprint? Well, they can't really working very properly. We weren't getting quality stuff. So we kind of went to my family owned printer that's been printing my stuff for decades, all right? Printing quality. He can print these pads of order forms so much cheaper than you going to FedEx. So now you can go to our website and hit the shop button, and you got to order a little bit of quantity because it's a family business. But, you know, I mean, so you got to get yourself a few sample cards or 5 or, you know, I don't know how many pads of these that you got to get, but it's not that much money compared to what you'd pay at the FedEx, and you could get your banners. We hardly have anything, guys. I'm just giving you a heads up that we're all doing our best and we're trying, but I know one thing about every one of us on the This Is a Team, we got a heart for the people. So when Renita's talking about money, or when I talk about money, it's almost like always like, we want you to make the money. We want to help you get there. Maybe we have to get there so we can go to Tulum to prove that it works. But
Yeah.
our heart really is for you all to win. I hope you're seeing that through it. And you'll probably never in your lifetime, you know, rarely, if ever, maybe one more time, but what if it don't happen? Have a team like this that wants to lift you up, like she just said, and take you where you want to go. So, I mean, there's way more things than just, hey, this is a perfect timing. This is the perfect business. This is the perfect community team. So many things that we got going here that you cannot afford to miss out, that it probably won't be in that line, like she just said, lined up for you. All the stars won't be aligned like they are right now. So don't take lightly what these guys are saying.
It's a small investment that could change your family's life, number one. Number two, when it comes to money, there's a lot of kind of virtuous, you know, kind of like behavior, this virtual signaling. Like, it's, well, for me, it's not about the money, right? And this is actually Renita's message. And so I'm sharing it right now, but Renita says, well, what are you doing on Monday? And they say, well, I'm, you know, the ones that say, well, for me, it's just not, for you, it's about the money, you know? And, well, what are you doing on Monday? They say, well, I'm going to work. Well, where are your little kids going? Well, they're going to daycare. You know what I mean? So you're going to work to earn the money. Someone else is raising your kid. I mean, that's great. There's great daycare providers. You want to, you know, good people to take care of your children. But if it wasn't for the money, then why are you not seeing your family for 50 hours a week and somebody else is raising your kids? Because you're going out there earning money. So what we want to do, guys, all of us, is just to start to tell the truth, right? Tell the truth. It's okay. It's okay that money's important. It's fine. It's not. Money's not the root of all evil. We want to put more money in good people's hands, Steve, right? That's our goal.
I love that.
Right?
I love that zinger, Renita. What are you going to be doing on Monday? So guys, write that one down. Another zinger from Rita. You got to have money to survive and make things happen. Okay, Renita, I need you to zing these fast because I want to help some people with X39. It's kind of like a quick rapid fire, all right?
Okay.
So what's the shortest explanation you can make on an X39? If you were going to talk to somebody like you're in the buffet line, what am I going to say?
I'm going to say you wear this patch. It's incredible. It activates your body's own healing mechanisms. There's a peptide called GHKCU. You don't need to know that, but just know it stimulates all of those healing cells of the body, even stem cells. So it stimulates all those healing cells, and people's lives are just absolutely changing. It's a miracle product, and I believe it'll create a miracle for you. You speak over their lives what you want to happen.
Right.
That's
Good.
big
And then
for
you
me.
do have the This Is It info, like Scott said, to back
I do
up.
that, and I
Send
say,
you the
hey,
link.
listen, when I get to the end of this buffet line and I put my plate down, I'd love to share a link with you. And actually, to be honest with you, we carry sleeves of patches with us, your envelopes with 2 patches wherever we go. So, I mean, I wear a fanny pack everywhere. I mean, I'm happy the 80s look is in. So I wear fanny packs wherever I go, and they've got the envelope, have you been patched yet? With 2 patches in each one with, of course, our business information. But I don't just hand stuff out. We don't hand stuff out. We get their information.
Yeah.
Right? Because the fortune
And
is
I
in
do
the
like
follow
that.
through.
I do like that though, because when you're meeting somebody, you got to also explain to them how to wear it. It's all in there. So it's very, very duplicatable. We don't put a lot of patches in there because you don't want to
No.
just waste patches. You just want to do like what Gina says. Want to make sure when you stick it on, you're telling them that you'll see nothing weird is going to happen.
Right.
It's just it's the first, but this is what can happen. But everybody's different. But I do like the fact to have that as a crutch. You know, you're already got the envelope right there, and they're getting something, and you're handing it to them. I will say that I've never had a business card since I started this business. I only collected their cell phone number and communicated that way. But because people got to personally write in their business card for This Is It Team Shop, it's too confusing and too much work for my kids.
Steve, I've got business cards laying on the floorboard of my car.
Yep.
So that's where the business cards end up, not mine, other people's, right? So
Yeah.
the bottom line is the business cards are kind of old school. You really want, this is a relationship business. This is the connection business. And the more you, I say, tell the story, but if they're not the temperament that just likes my story in the buffet line, then I'm going to hand them an envelope. Because if they're a certain temperament, they're going to want to read. Some temperaments like to say, oh, this is what it is. They like to open up, put their fingers on it. They like to see the little inside card that tells what's going to happen and how to wear it. They're very detailed. Yeah, the QR
Who can
code.
the X39? Who can the X39 work for, and what can it help?
Everyone, young to old and everybody in between. That's why
Everything.
people say
Everyone and
everybody,
everything.
everybody and everything. I don't know how it's going to work in your body, but you let me know.
Yeah. And we can't wait to hear for your testimony. Okay,
Yeah.
what happens if you wear the X39 for more than 12 hours? Well, your parents answered it. You grow a third arm. People are nervous. Tell us, will anything happen?
No, nothing happens, but nothing good, but nothing bad happens either. Because remember, your body gets a little sluggish and lazy at activating these regenerative cells. So what happens is when you wear it a long time, like my mom, I always said to Scott, it took her 11 days to be walking without the walker. Maybe it would have took her 6 if she would have taken the thing off and thrown it away and waited 12 hours before she put the next patch on. But it took 11, so we'll take that miracle, right? But the bottom line is it's called attenuation. David calls it attenuation. And what that means is the body gets sluggish at activating those stem cells. And so if you actually just take it off, throw it away, give that body a little break, a little reprieve, rest, the next morning, bam, put a fresh patch right back on. Done.
Okay, great. How long do you wear the X39? Now, I'm not talking about the 12 hours. I'm saying people like, am I going to, when my ailment or something feels better, how long do I wear the X39?
Well, I'm just looking younger and younger. And so what I've decided is when I meet I say to Scott, some of our friends aren't aging very well. When you see them at these reunions, they need the patch, right? So the way I'm thinking, I'm fitter, faster, stronger. My skin looks better than it ever has. And I've been wearing it now 2.5 years. So I have really no desire to stop because I don't want to, go back to the old ugly tree where I hit every branch on the way down. Like I'm not into that. I want to be young, sharp. And I always think if I'm not using this to regenerate, we know that at 30, we've got a 60% reduction of these regenerative cells in our body that are healing, right? Healing us. Okay, if I'm not doing the patch, what am I doing then? Oh, I'm just getting older, faster, fatter, sick, metabolic disease because I don't want to wear a patch. So I'm kind of like Jesus. Gina, I'm wearing until Jesus comes back. Gina has said that, and I say the same thing. But some people will give people, if they're analytical, they'll say for each decade you've been alive, you need it for 1 month. So if you're 50, wear it for 5 months before you make an educated decision if you're going to keep wearing it.
Right.
By that time, generally people look and feel different, and people are coming up to them asking if they got facelifts, and so they never want to quit, right? So
and we also tell people, Steve, when they ask that question, how long do I need to wear it? Do I need to keep wearing it? We just say it's up to you. It's up to you. There's nothing weird with this company,
No.
But let's say you're playing pickleball and you start getting better and better because you're playing pickleball every single day. When you get really, really good at pickleball, then you're just going to quit playing pickleball, or whatever. You're exercising. I'm going to stop exercising now that I'm fit.
Anita said, as you age, things are happening to your body every day the longer you age. So why not keep the best technology that we've ever seen, simplest in as well, keep wearing it so that you're protecting yourself. You're being proactive. I mean, come on.
And I was thinking to myself, sometimes it's just like common sense. Look at people that are wearing the patch and look at those that are not wearing the patch. So I'm going to say.
The other thing we've seen, Steve, what we found over the last 2.5 years is people will ask us that question. Well, how long do I have to wear it? So once I start feeling good, do I have to keep wearing it? When people have been wearing these patches for 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, they don't want to miss a day. Like, they're no longer saying like, well, I sure hope I can stop these pretty soon. They're just saying the opposite. Like, I don't want to miss a single day of activating my own body stem cells because I feel amazing, I'm sleeping, my energy, all those things.
Even my mom, I get to her place, she's got the patch on.
Yep.
Like I didn't have to, I don't tell my mom to put the patch on. I don't say, Pearl, did you put the patch on? I get there, she's wearing it. Right?
Right.
So even my mom, like this 2.5 years in, even my 78-year-old mother is not saying, when do I get to quit wearing these things?
Right.
Hey, she's 78 and she's like a rock star now, getting everybody signed up at the place she's living with hemorrhoids. So I mean, this is working out.
Let's
know?
face it, for what it can do for everybody, it's the cheapest thing that you could do for your body. Go to any health food store to get anything quality, it's going to cost more than this.
Yeah. And one
What
final
is the,
thing,
and
Steve,
what are the
they-
crystals? What are the
Wait a
crystals?
second.
Rita,
Let
go
me
ahead.
just say this. They should quit doing things that aren't working for them. Why would you stop doing something that's actually working? That's foolish in my
Right.
world. All that other crap that you're doing that's not working, stop that first. Okay.
Hey,
anyway.
everybody, we're talking about business as well. We've got a product that everyone really needs.
Right.
If you're on your game, we're talking to a group of friends here that are on our game. We're saying we're going to wear it for the rest of our life.
Right.
You find people like that, you don't understand residual income if you don't if you need a product. Have you ever prayed to say, send me a business that people need to keep activating, like a cell phone business or whatever, something that people got to keep on a subscription that they must be wearing if they're on their game. Okay. You don't have to have a cell phone, but you need your health.
Right.
Think about that. That's incredible what we got our
It's
hands
huge.
on. If you're
It's huge.
thinking business, we have struck a gold mine.
Yeah. And also I had a guy I was talking to with Jaime down in Punta Cana. He was so smart. He was like an East Indian dude. And he
Yeah.
said, listen, I've been dealing with this pain for 20 years. I've tried everything. I've tried every hospital. I've tried every name. He said, if this patch can even give me a 20% pain reduction, I will wear it for the rest of my life. I'm like, I love this guy. You know, he's not saying I got to be healed and then I'm going to
Yeah.
quit it. When can
I love
He's
it.
like, if you just tell me that I can have a 20% reduction of overall pain, I'll wear this thing forever, right? What
And I
are the
love what
crystals?
Renita said too. Renita said that she's getting, all of us have the same testimony. The longer we're wearing it, the more testimonies we're getting. So why would you not want to see what next week's testimony is going to be? Hey,
Exciting.
what's in the X39 crystals? What can we say
So the
about
crystals, a lot of Christians especially, we love the Lord Jesus. You love the
Yeah.
Lord Jesus. A lot of Christians are scared of the word crystals, and they ought not to be because everything, I mean, nature is made of crystals, guys. Mountains are made of crystals. Diamonds are crystals. But the crystals that they're referring to are, have you ever got a piece of salt and held it in your hand? That's a crystal.
Right.
A piece of salt, a piece of sugar. Steve, those are crystals, right? And so all the crystals are in the patch to do is remember, reflect our own body light and body heat back into the body. So they have, and some people don't like the word, what's the word, the small word? Yeah,
Nano.
yeah, nano crystals. They're like nano crystals. What that was in that needle? Yeah, we're not injecting this into the body. The nano needs to be small on the patch because if Scott didn't have this little patch, if it's this, these are nano crystals. They've got to be small. If they made these mega crystals, well, then you'd have to like wrap your whole self in this thing a few times. Serious.
that's
So
it.
they have to be
Okay.
nano because they've got to be small because we want to keep the patch wearable, easy to use. You know, you can put it anywhere. So
Do you follow, since we started, the 2020 strategy?
100%. In fact, you want to?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see, I mean, it's like, so, and you just go to, this is a team, scroll down. Now there's 2 videos on it. In fact, I was with one of my friends today that we just put on the premiere that's already on the website. This is a team. Just share that with your newest person. They have the strategy, everything they need. The LifeWave, no one ever taught this strategy. So these guys came in the day after I enrolled. So all of us have been promoting this. So it's not just one couple, we're all promoting it. And you can't underestimate the effect that it's having on the the So,
and I want to say, don't think to yourself in minimums. Scott and I teach this a lot with our team. Do not teach in minimums. Like, how little do I have to do? Start thinking, how far can I go? How much money can I make? How many lives can I change? How many people can I see get out of that pit of sickness and poverty? How many chains can we break today? So instead of thinking of minimums like, oh, now I got to get one more, you know what I mean? I think to myself, Steve, we need not a 20/20 vision. I need a 200/200 vision, right? Because for me, I'm like, why would you ever stop helping people? We will never stop helping people. We have to vacation all around the world now because we got to get to different locations around the world and help people everywhere. This is not just for a US and a North Dakota thing. You know what I mean?
Hey, Renita, how important is consistency versus start with so much energy that you stop and start or lose or lose your you get tired. I mean, isn't this the biggest thing of I don't take care if somebody comes out of the block so quick. I'd rather have them stay consistent. That's what's really it's more of a tortoise business than a hare, realistically.
Well, I think it's consistency and urgency. People in business, when they have a sense of urgency on something, right? Like it's kind of like the Black Friday thing. Everybody had a sense of urgency, right? To order real quick. But imagine if we had that with our business. I tell my team this. Imagine, Steve, that you and Gina are up in North Dakota and we're going to drive to Texas. And I put you guys in the car. In one day, I get in the car and I step on the gas pedal and I drive 17 miles an hour. And I don't make it to the North Dakota border, but it's dark, so we get out. I decide to go into a bar and have a couple drinks, and I pass out. And now you guys are waiting in the car still, right? And then I get back in the car and I'm kind of hammered, but I'm like, we're going to drive 100 miles an hour through South Dakota, right? We're almost there. And I just bullet. And then all of a sudden, we hit an antelope. And then you guys are sitting in the car, and I'm like, listen, we got to take the car to the shop to get it repaired. And then we get back in. Now I'm cautious. Now I'm driving 23 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then I back off to 5 because it got a little fog, right? I say I would never want to be in the car with that person. Lack of consistency is so irritating to me. I would rather you just get in and just drive 50 consistently to Texas, or 25 consistently to Texas, or 100 if you're in the car with Steve and Gina Merritt to Texas, right? And don't drink and drive. But the bottom line is patch and drive. But the bottom line is that is what lack of consistency look like. People kind of come in and out and in and out. And I'm telling you that again, that's another thing that makes network marketing a bad name, Steve, because you have people that come in and no, I'm not, listen, we've all got life experiences. Things happen, deaths, marriages, things like that. And that is the beauty of this business to fall back on, because in those moments, guess what? Our teamwork makes the dream work and people are still building. And this is the freedom business where if you do have family or you're taking care of a loved one, like my mom, right? You do have that ability to be able to do that and serve the people that you love most, right? But don't think of it, oh, it's the series of Yellowstone starting, so now I can't do nightly phone calls or meetings. I mean, what? Right? Yeah. So get in this business and ask yourself, where do I want to go with this thing? And again, set a vision for yourself and then consistently do it. But I'm a big believer in a sense of urgency. Yeah. I believe in a sense of urgency. Last week we had a new SPD hit, John and Teresa Getz. This week we got, I think, 2 more SPDs hitting. Everything is the push to Sunday at midnight right now. It's a sense of urgency, right? They got to get these numbers in. They've got to make the phone calls. I told Jaime, do 10 times the activity that you're doing today, do 10 times it. I said, because you know what? You don't have to push forever.
Let's go, Jaime.
Come on, Jaime. It's kind of like birth. It's kind of like birth. You're not in birth for 365 days. But when you're in the birthing process, you got to give it all you got, right? And you got to consistently breathe and push. And so I'm a big believer in just, if you're going to do it.
Me and Scott don't know about that, but I'm glad you told us.
Yeah. So Gina knows all about it.
I get that. I understand. That's really interesting too. Like there's certain points when you really got to push the best you can, push through, and don't get weary. Keep that dream in front of you. I was going to ask Scott, what I love about this business is that it's part-time when you start. I mean, you could take it as full as you want, but remember, people are watching you to see if they want to be you. Who wouldn't want to be able to go to Tulum and be able to still build their business? So what I love about this opportunity is that you don't have, talk about any of the other business you've seen as somebody of a startup. Let's just say you and me start up a restaurant. We got to stop cold turkey, and we're married to that restaurant. It's full-time. It ain't no part-time on the side gig, okay? But then when it's all said and done with, we're stuck there for the rest of our life, full-time stuck. I mean, don't you love that? Hey, you could build it part-time, but when you quadruple your pay in whatever you do, you still get to build this part-time. Tell them a little bit about what you see.
Yeah, 100%. And I spoke about this just a little bit earlier in the call. We talk about this with our boys a lot. In traditional businesses in the US, sometimes to be successful, you lose everything else, right? Because you're putting all of your time in. The average business, small business, you don't break even for 2.5 years, right? Steve, if somebody joins your business today, they print out some order forms, and tonight before they go to bed, they could have 4 people on a core kit. They could break even today in one day, right? And then so they can build it successfully part-time versus, we have family members who are in the franchise business, and it's stressful for them. They're managing employees. They're trapped. They're prisoner to their business, right? And it's just the opposite of this business with LifeWave, where we talk about return on investment. So you buy an advance pack for $535. How quickly? So before you even earn your first dollar, you're already, because of being tax efficient, you're already broke even and ahead, right? So we understand the tax laws of a home-based business, right? But then you're quickly going out, getting some product introduction bonuses, breaking even. So we understand return on investment. But with our team, we talk a lot about return on time investment, ROTI, right? There's no other business opportunity in the world, Steve, where you could say, like you said, part-time. Let's say I'm going to work 10 hours a week, right? And maybe I go out there and I do 20-20. I find 40 people. I'm doing that 10 hours a week. No matter how long it takes me, I find my 20-20. And out of those 40 people, maybe I have 10 people that say, Scott, this is amazing. Steve G, I want to do this. I'm going to use this as an info. I'm going to get on these Zooms. So now I have 10 people that are going to go out there and build 20-20. And when those 10 people find their 10 that want to work it, now you have 100 people. When those 100 people find their 10, you've got 1,000 more people. Wow. So everyone's only working 10 hours a week part-time, Steve, right? No one has to quit their jobs. No one has to not see their spouse, give up time with their children, stop going to the sporting events, stop going to church events, stop being passionate about, being involved in your community, right? Magic math, we talk about all the time. 10 hours can create thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of productivity, earning income for you and your household.
Now, we've already got this has been an incredible training, incredible conversation. People can see that we're just real, telling you everything that, someone could take this training right here and go all the way to SPD on just this training, right? The last thing that we've hit a bit, but let's hit it one more time so they understand. Part of this freedom of the part-time is having this system that all of us as a team has put together. How important, and you can include everything, but remember, we got Rise Up coming, as how many people, how important it is to have people there, okay? And I don't mind if it's virtual or in person, we still got a couple more seats, but talk about the whole package. You've got the weekly trainings, the weekly opportunity Zooms, the Saturday training Zooms, everything on that website that you got for the team site, like you were saying, for the doctors, the info, and then of course the conventions. And we didn't have this when we started. Talk about where you see how the people are winning that are plugged in this way.
100% those that are plugged in. Yep, 100% those that are plugged in, like those of you watching today, thank you for being a leader and leading yourself here. Thank you for leading your teams on this and sharing it after we're done, because truth is the power of duplication is at its utmost here, right? When we first started and Steve got me started, we didn't have This Is It info and This Is It team. So I remember getting those 130 inbox messages from posting my father's legs on Facebook. And I had to manually go back and literally imagine the time that took to answer those 100. I didn't have anything. I couldn't just say, This Is It info, my website. This is it info, my website. Now we can do that. So if you're a person who likes saving time and energy, use the system, plug into the system. What's interesting, Steve, is there's always temperaments that think that they need to recreate the wheel, that they can do it better. I've even got my doctor friends saying, I got to stop doing what I'm doing because I think I need to outsmart this thing and do what you and Scott are doing, Renita, because you're just following the system and look at all the time freedom you guys have, right? And listen, our time freedom is dependent on what we choose our time freedom to be. When I had 34 Zoom meetings in 3 days, it was not much time freedom, right? So we were willing to work. We were willing to roll up our sleeves. That's another big deal. You can work it as much as you want. So I always say align your goals with the activity. You can't say, I want to make $3 million, $4 million, and then you plug in once every third week to a meeting. I remember when I started and with this system, I was like, how do I train myself? How do I increase my own belief so that I can give that belief away powerfully? Because you only can give away what you got. So if people are not engaging in the belief of the business, they haven't watched enough This Is It team trainings. If they don't have enough belief in the product, they haven't gone to This Is It info and clicked on testimonials and cried their face off when they click on children, right? I'm like, just click on children and get a box of Kleenex. This is not complicated, right? So if you don't have belief, you have to ask yourself, where do I need to grow my belief? And the beautiful thing is, it's in the system. The system, whether it be the This Is It team for the business, the This Is It info for the health. You could even go to David Schmidt and all the This Is It. Steve and Gina are interviewing this guy constantly. All the interviews you have. Oh, you want to know more about David Schmidt? Go to This Is It team on YouTube and watch all the David Schmidt videos. So the bot, you put it all in one spot, Steve. And that is what makes it magical math. That's why you can duplicate so fast. I have some people on my team, they want to go make their own handouts. They want to make their own this and that. And you know what? They're not SPD. And I always just say, listen, if you're SPD, you're helping more people than if you're a manager. That's just the truth. It's just a financial truth, right? I'm not being mean. It's just the truth. If you're helping 4 people versus 100,000, that looks different, right? So you have to ask yourself, do I want to help a lot of people? Do I want to move quickly and efficiently? Do I want to follow a proven system that's creating multimillionaires, not making income claims? It just is happening, right? Do I want to follow a system where the leadership is awesome? You want your friends and family around Steve and Gina Merritt. You want them around Javi and Olga. You want them around Matt and Kim Curtis, right? You want them around Mikey. I was texting Mikey since I got here. Mikey, they've got seeds in the grapes at this place because we're on the hunt for seeds in the grapes because that kills diseases in the body. And Mikey and I say, everywhere you go, there's no seeds in the grape. Every grape I eat, there's seeds. I'm texting Mikey constantly. He's like, I said, I found the seeds. He said, we're going there for Christmas. You want your friends and your family and your children especially. Our children, listen, I want to say this because we believe in generational health and generational wealth. Our children are different than average kids. They've been in Steve and Gina meetings. They've been in the front row. They've been on stage. They've been around all of these incredible leaders with all of the free trips. Steve, we quit counting. I'm forgetting from Bora Bora to the Greek Isles. I mean, we've been on so many free trips in the last 2.5 years, and we're just getting started. And my kids said, Mom, we've got friends in our classrooms that have not even been to South Dakota, right? And so what I'm saying is that when our kids are, when you get around if we're really caring about the next generation of leadership, we get around our kids and they speak and talk and act differently because they've been around the leaders of This Is It team. My kids think they're like little personal development hounds that want to help everybody. They're like, that guy needs a patch. You know, Bo's overhearing the conversation about the guy that owns all the real estate, and he's like showing the guy the patch on his arm, right? So we're like a team. We like travel as a unit, as a family. We're like a military unit traveling together, showing the patch, like throwing the high fives, listening, observing. Your family and your life will be better when you plug into This Is It team.
So we have all these incredible people, just like Scott and Renita, that care about everybody else. And all of us as a team, are we all perfect? No, we're telling you we're not. We're just doing our best to bring every one of you along with us. But when you plug in, you got so much more confidence on a Saturday after this than the person that wasn't listening. Yeah, maybe you listen to the replay, but it ain't the same of all of us being on here together. We know that we sacrificed a little bit of time here to be on here together, but we all did it as a team. We're ramping it up because we're going to take LifeWave to $1 billion this next year. That's the This Is It team's goal. If This Is It team doesn't do it, who's going to do it? So that is our goal, is to take them to $1 billion. So they've been growing at a little over 200 million this past year. We're going to take that up to 350 million. Why not? And take it to the $1 billion in 2025.
We're going to finish, 2024 strong. This is the springboard. We're going to explode. We're going to rise up together as a team, but we're going to do this first. So you're going to jump on, and then how many people are you going to get in your living room? How many people are you going to say, in your community that we're going to attend this together? Because, together you go far, right? Together you go far.
I want to say, I'll never forget when David Schmidt was on stage and he talked specifically to you and Gina. And he said, because you said, tell us how we're going to take this to $1 billion company. He goes, well, I know, you might not, it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar company. So I always think it's amazing. We can attach so easily to you and Gina because you guys are just incredible leaders, lovers of the Lord, the hardest workers on the planet. But then I think we've got someone that's got a multi-billionaire vision that we're attaching to, right? So we're attaching to you and your system, and you're attaching to David Schmidt and the light. Think about this, you guys. This is why the power, it's literally like a rocket ship. It's like a powerful rocket ship that we have our hands on, because it's not like Steve and Gina are like, yeah, billion, and then David's up on stage saying, well, I'm not sure if we're going to get there. The guy's like multi-billions, right? And just
love it.
Right? It's so powerful. So the event to event, the more people you get at an event, the larger your business is going to grow. It is, again, magic math. They catch the vision, they feel the vision. It's kind of like getting together in a community changes people, which is why they didn't want us together for 5 years, right? But when you get together in that community and you can feel the power of one another, and there's a synchronicity, a unity that happens. I mean, it reminds me of have you ever heard of when people say the whole world's gonna pray for these kids that got caught in some cave in India? Remember when that happened, and the whole world was praying for these kids, and they got the kids out, I think. And so the bottom line but there's a power of people coming together with a similar vision. And then when you come together, it's like your readiness, your willingness to receive is there. You're there to learn. You're hungry for it. I always say expectancy is the atmosphere for miracles, right? So we're showing up at that thing, waiting to hear from Steve and Gina, waiting to hear from corporate, waiting to hear from all these incredible This Is It team leaders. And listen, I just really believe when we're like that, I just believe where there are two or more gathered in your name, God is there with us. So I believe when we get together with that intention, there is something miraculous. And that's all we probably could call it, Steve, is a miracle. There is a miracle that happens that multiplies because of the power of intention, the power of belief, the power of, it says in the Bible, seek and you will find. The power of seeking. You're seeking that next nugget. You're seeking that next opportunity nugget to grow your business. You're seeking that next story that's going to help you propel your belief in some way, shape, or form. People need to see this vision. You know, I've got people that say to me, I make enough money. I'm like, well, does everybody on your team make enough money? Because I bet they'd like to make more money. Some of those people, maybe, right? And they're like, yeah, there are. Okay, let's set a vision then for that. Think of it like, how many people can I bless? How many people can I serve? How many people can I help? And so every one of those people, and again, I mean, the whole LifeWave thing, I've never ever thought when I call someone that I'm bothering them. I actually think you're about to be blessed. When we're standing in the lunch line, you're about to be blessed. Everywhere we go, you're about to be blessed. That is just our intention that pours out of us. We just love people. Like we actually love them and we want them well. We want them wealthy. Why not?